In this video, I'm going to show you how to make one of my favorite pasta dishes, pumpkin ravioli. A restaurant I used to work at years ago. This was one of the most popular dishes, especially during this time of the year. And on a busy night, I would plate this dish about 30 to 40 times. So we'll start by making our pasta dough. Take 2 1/4 cups all-purpose flour. Make sure you level off. Add that to a stand mixer. Then we'll add in 3 whole eggs plus 1 egg yolk. A tablespoon of olive oil. Half a teaspoon of salt. Put on your dough hook. Let that pasta dough come together. After a few minutes, it'll start to resemble a dough. Pop that out on your work surface and just gently knead that dough until it comes together. You know the pasta dough is ready when you push down on the dough and it bounces back. So once that happens, we could take this pasta dough, wrap it up in some plastic wrap, put it in the fridge, let it hang out a half hour, let that gluten relax. Otherwise the pasta dough will be too tough. So now we're going to make the filling. I have 15 ounces of fresh pumpkin puree here. If you don't have fresh, you can use canned, which it comes out to 15 ounces as well. So I want to remove as much moisture as we can from this pumpkin puree. So I'm going to put it over a strainer and let any excess water come out here. I'm just going to gently push it down with a rubber spatula. Once the pumpkin puree is all dried, it's time to add our seasonings. Add half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of pepper, 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. Then take 1 egg yolk lightly beaten, add that in. It's going to help bind our filling together. And I have a 1/4 cup of mascarpone cheese. It's going to add a nice texture to this pumpkin ravioli filling. 1/4 cup of parmesan reggiano. Add some bite to go with the sweetness. And then stir that together. And add that to a pastry bag here so it's easy to pipe in for our ravioli. And then we'll just set this aside and we're ready to roll out our pasta dough. On a lightly floured surface, grab your pasta dough from the fridge and we're just going to divide this up. It's about 6 pieces here. So I'm going to cut this in half and we're ready to roll this out. So using your pasta machine here, I have the attachment on the KitchenAid. On the lowest setting, which is number 1, roll through your pasta, then fold the edges down like so, and repeat the process again on number 1. And then we'll just do that one more time. So now the pasta dough is ready to go. Change to number 2 here and just gently roll the pasta dough through. Helps to lightly flour the pasta dough. This way nothing sticks. Then we'll go to 3. Carefully roll it through again. And this is just changing the thickness of the pasta. So I'm just going to do it one more time on number 4 here, and that should be good to go. We don't want this too thin, then it'll fall apart. It won't hold our pasta ravioli filling as well. So we'll pipe in our pumpkin ravioli filling. We'll go about halfway the length of this rolled out pasta sheet. Make sure you leave 2 to 3 inches between each filling, and then just fold over the pasta dough. Push down the sides, put out any excess air. And taking a ravioli cutter here, just roll out your raviolis. If you don't have a ravioli cutter, you could just cut around it and crimp the edges with a fork. Some parchment paper, lightly flour on a sheet tray, lay out our raviolis. We'll repeat this process until we're done. So I have my full tray of pumpkin raviolis here. And now we'll get our garnishes ready. I have some amaretti cookies. Just going to add some texture and sweetness. Put them in a Ziploc bag, grab a rolling pin or the back of a pan, and just hit them into crumbs. I got some fresh sage leaves. Break those off and chop them up. Dish is going to come together very quickly, so you want to have everything ready to go. I have my pot of boiling salted water, and in a pan I have 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter, and we want to brown this butter. So while our butter is browning, we'll add our raviolis. These are going to only take a minute and a half or so. Add a pinch of salt to our brown butter. Add our fresh sage. Let that slightly cook. You don't want our butter to burn. And then I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of water. And this is going to help emulsify our sauce. Equal parts fat to water. Our raviolis are floating here, so these are ready to go. We'll add them right to our pan in our brown butter sage sauce. And once the raviolis are added, this is going to help thicken and emulsify our sauce. And these are ready to plate. Just gently add our pumpkin raviolis on the plate here. And once they're laid out, grab that brown butter sauce and spoon that over the plate and over the raviolis. Once that's done, hit it with a little bit of fresh cracked pepper, grated Parmesan Reggiano, and then some of our amaretti cookie crumbs. This really is a wonderful dish because all the flavors just go so well together. So that's my pumpkin ravioli. Don't forget to check out my pasta playlist for more great recipes.